it's like looking at Golden State last night. He swore to me yesterday Golden State would not win. Mm-hmm. Swore to me.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually. I don't think the Warriors will win that series either, but I'm going to be honest. You look at that team, I've been a proponent of Golden State the whole season. We talked about Stephen Curry last week. Klay Thompson is another one. He's one of the most...
He had a nice performance last night.
One of the most erratic players in the league. He is a little bit like J.R. Smith West, even though I think he has so much more potential and capability than J.R. Smith does. He's also a lot younger than J.R. Smith. You saw what he can do when he gets his stuff together and is hitting his shot last night.
Well, they're reducing JR's minutes.
They are reducing JR's minutes. Yes, I did see that article. The thing with Golden State, they got Bogut back. They're playing without Derek Lee. You got to wonder what it would be like if they could play with both of them on the court at the same time. I feel like this team, over the next couple of years, this team is really going to wind up taking off. I still think they lose to the Spurs in 6, but after taking that game last night and bringing it, now they have it in Golden State. Now it's back in Oakland for the next 2 games. So if they take Game 3, I would say watch out.
When it comes down to the series through 2 games, in my opinion, Golden State's the better team.
Golden State's had the better first half, but in every second half, even last night,
I'll say like this.
They were the Spurs were the better team in the second half.
If you take out that 6-minute stretch or 4-minute stretch of the fourth quarter in San Antonio, Golden State's the better team for 90 minutes out of 96 minutes.
I agree. And
literally, they are.
Listen, this is the ultimate battle of youth versus experience. You look at Golden State, they got all the younger players. They got Curry, they got Klay Thompson, Carl Landry's putting up decent minutes. Jarrett Jack's been throwing his stuff in. Even Harrison Barnes has been getting involved a little bit. And, it's still the Tony Parker and Tim Duncan show. Ginobili's been playing a little bit. They got their younger guys in Danny Green, Thiago Splitter, Kawhi Leonard. And it's on those guys to step up and match the younger players on Golden State.
To me, the difference is San Antonio has just started off both of these ball games kind of lackadaisical, almost walking in and just expecting Golden State to roll over a little bit. And what happens is Golden State jumps out to a big lead, and then they go, whoa, wait a second. All right, well, let's start clamping down. But by then, in the second half, it gets to be
they have like
late.
a 24-point lead at halftime or something? I don't know if
20,
it was that.
It might have been 20, but I know they were up at least
it was like
19.
62-40 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 62-43.
Last
night's game, yeah.
62-43 is a 19-point
point, yeah.
19-point game, and then, look at where the game ended. It ended
9
up
points,
being
right?
9-point or 8-point game. San Antonio has been the better team in the second half. It's just that they're starting off slow. I think they need to get Kawhi Leonard involved more in the first half, and I think that I'm not worried about San Antonio.
I will say, what you just said about San Antonio starting off flat, I would be a little worried about that just because the next 2 games are going to be in Oakland.
But that's why I don't think they start off the next 2 games as flat as they started off the East.
Though, another thing I want to throw in, San Antonio did have a pretty good-sized layoff between their last series with the Lakers and waiting for the Golden State-Denver series to end. So, they were rested, and that whole thing about if you get too much rest, how complacent do you get and can you get back into it? Obviously, you're seeing the answer to that question right now, and Golden State's taking advantage.
I still got the Spurs, though. I think everybody in this room does.
No,
eventually, I think the Spurs and their experience overtake the youth.
Like I said, though, if Golden State can take Game 3, I do think it's going to be an entirely different series, though, and it can change the face of everything.
I do want to say something about last night's game, and I said this to you on the ride down, Eric, about San Antonio Golden State. What an amazing matchup of head coaches.
Yeah.
Not just that, I heard some of the little lines you heard these guys say, little mic'd up moments on TV and stuff. Yeah, Mark Jackson telling his players that, I remember playing for Pat. This is in-game, intense third-quarter moment, and he's looking at his players. I remember when I played for Pat Riley, and he looked at me and he said, rebounds get you rings. He's like, you know what, gentlemen? Rebounds get you a win against the Spurs in Game 2. And, You love that. And then you got Pop on the other side. And he's like, look, it's going to be intense. We got to love this. We got to take it in. We got to appreciate it, but we got to be better. Like, and it's just those moments where you listen to these guys and you look at, and that's when you sit there and you say to yourself, that's why you are who you are and
But
you
I'm
have the
also-
position you have.
I'm also going to give you the key, which Popovich has figured out, but it's taken him both games to figure out. He has to go with the smaller lineup, and he even alluded to that yesterday, Dave, which is something we talked about on the ride down. He had like a little in-game interview. I don't know whether it was the third or fourth quarter, and they came over and they said, "Oh, well, you know, your team seems to be playing with this smaller lineup. Are you going to stick with it?" Popovich was like, "Are you going to tell anybody if I tell you?" And the interviewer was like, "No," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to stick with it." Playing with the smaller lineup, he tried to go bigger. Especially in the first half of both games, he tried to go bigger, and the bigger lineup isn't working against Golden State.
No.
He has to match up smaller, and when he does, the Spurs have played better with the smaller lineup. So I think you're going to see more of that in Game 3 and 4.
Now, I was trying to watch some of the hockey games when that was on. So you tell me, was Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green in the smaller lineup?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. That sticks with my point. They need those two guys to step up. Like I said, those are the younger guys. You throw Tiago Splitter's name in there. That's what has helped Golden State win the series. The fresh legs, the younger guys. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, even Bogut. He's well rested at least.
Yeah.
So
I think that guy sucks.
listen,
I really do. I do not like Andrew
Bogut's
Bogut
not
as a player.
he's not a scorer. He sucks at the free throw line. He's a defensive presence.
Popovich busted out the hack of Bogut. He did it last night. And,
Well,
that was part of San Antonio's run.
He's another career, I think, 40% free throw shooter. So if you can do it, why not? But, you know, he's the 7-foot guy. You know, you look at the other big men Golden State has had from Beandris hasn't played in God knows how long. He hasn't been effective in over 3 years. David Lee got hurt. It's admirable that he's trying to play through it, but at this point, he's not fooling anyone. You know he's not playing this series. So that's a big thing, and that's why I said at the beginning, imagine if Bogut and Lee were both healthy for this series. The way Golden State has been playing so far.
Yeah. You know what? And the funny thing is you don't see David Lee at all, and I'm telling you now, you're going to see him again when they're in Golden State. They're going to do exactly what they did in the first round. They're going to bring him out, get that crowd riled the hell up, and they'll do the same thing. Lee, go play 2-3 minutes. That's it. That's all we need from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Shout out to Pixel. Pixel's a fan of Andrew Bogut. Me personally, I'm not. But I won't argue with his last comment in our chat room. He's a bit awkward, but he does get the job done as a big man.
I gave up on Bogut a long time ago just because I was tired of having him on my fantasy team and him going down like 2 months into the season.
And if you're a Milwaukee Buck fan, you legitimately could shoot that man because you can't stand him.